NASCAR is synonymous with adrenaline-pumping racing, but let's face it, the crashes are what often steal the show. But here's where it gets controversial. While these wrecks can be jaw-dropping spectacles, they also serve as stark reminders of the sport's inherent risks. With cars hurtling at speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour, collisions are almost inevitable. And while modern safety features like aerodynamic roof flaps have significantly improved driver protection, the laws of physics remain unforgiving. So what happens when things go wrong? Let's dive into some of the most bone-chilling crashes in NASCAR history, moments that highlight both the thrill and the peril of the sport. The big one, Talladega 2002. Imagine 31 cars. Yes, you read that right. Colliding in a single crash. That's exactly what happened during the 2002 Aaron's 312 at Talladega Superspeedway. And this is the part most people miss. It wasn't just about speed, it was about slipstreaming. When Kenny Wallace lost his slipstream advantage, his car washed out, triggering a domino effect that involved Scott Riggs, Shane Neal, Kevin Grubb, and Johnny Sauter. The result? A red flag race, 9 DNFs, and a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control when cars are packed like sardines. The can opener. Bristol 1990. Bristol Motor Speedway is notorious for its tight turns and slow speeds. But don't let that fool you. Michael Waltrip's 1990 crash proved that even on a slower track, disaster can strike. After losing traction, his car slid into the outside wall, but the real horror came when it pierced through an improperly locked gate, effectively skewering itself on the guardrail. The car was ripped apart, yet Waltrip walked away, a testament to both his luck and the advancements in safety gear. But here's the question. How many more tragedies could we have avoided with better track maintenance? Not always on an oval. Watkins Glen 2009. Road courses like Watkins Glen International Raceway are often seen as less dangerous than ovals. But this crash flipped that notion on its head. When Casey Kane lost traction exiting Turn 5, he collided with Sam Hornish Jr., sending Hornish into a tire barrier. The barrier, meant to absorb the impact, instead launched his car back onto the track, where it was struck by Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton. While no one was seriously injured, it highlighted the unpredictability of even minor errors on road courses. Last lap carnage, Talladega 2012. With just 2 laps to go, the 2012 Talladega race turned into a demolition derby. Casey Mears bumped Michael Waltrip, who then collided with Tony Stewart, setting off a chain reaction that left almost no car unscathed. But here's where it gets controversial. Was it the desperation of bump drafting or the sheer proximity of the cars that caused the chaos? Either way, it was a stark reminder that in NASCAR, victory and disaster are often separated by mere inches. Catching a car, Daytona 2015. What happens when a car becomes a projectile? The 2015 Coke 0400 at Daytona answered that question in terrifying fashion. After a restart, Kevin Harvick collided with Denny Hamlin, sending Austin Dillon's car flying into the catch fence at full speed. Debris rained down on spectators, injuring several and sparking a lawsuit. And this is the part most people miss. The catch fence, often overlooked, played a critical role in preventing an even greater catastrophe. It's a sobering reminder of the importance of trackside safety measures. Final thoughts. NASCAR crashes are more than just spectacle. They're a testament to the bravery of drivers and the ingenuity of safety engineers. But they also raise important questions. Are we doing enough to protect drivers and fans? And at what point does the thrill of the race become too great a risk? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think NASCAR has struck the right balance between excitement and safety, or is there still room for improvement?